Let It Roar. It's Mickey Gemini here. Vault of Doom, episode 3. I've got a few quick, as an introduction, heads up on what the show is going to have on tonight. And it's going to be, well, basically just freestyle with it for this one. So I'm just going with the flow, and and anything that I can remember at this time, about it. Like, it's like anything at all that I can possibly remember. I know I had like a few ideas on the premise, but it seems to be escaping me at the moment. The main thing, though, is that if you are listening on Spotify, you're not going to get the full episode. In order to get the full episode, you have to watch the video on YouTube for a little while, and just having the thing go with that is just pretty cool. So, getting all the stuff going for, like, what I could say, it would probably be, it would just probably be like, basically like personal updates on what's going on with me while I'm working on this album. Is this front screen? Yeah, front screen. I'm on the front screen in this little bubble here. And yeah, so fucking Vault of Doom, episode 3. Let's fucking do it. Oh shit, I got the mute on this time. So fucking having everything fucking going with the way it's going right now on the show is just like mad. I'm like mad working shit out, and mad working out shit that like was the where the shit pivoted on the show. So I'm actually just finishing up an Instagram series that's basically sharing and broadcasting some art project that I worked on recently, and it shit, I forgot how that ties into what I was saying. Damn. Anyway, I mentioned in the beginning here, for the introduction, that if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to get the full episode. And the extras on the full episode, the reason why that is so you can see what's on my feed. So we're going to go through, even if you're watching on Spotify, when you finish this, go to the YouTube video and just fast forward to when you're not seeing this screen anymore that has just a depiction where you're seeing my recording software, because the the Spotify episode is broadcasted through the recording software, and the YouTube video is on currently it's under the stock software for the video, and as of next week, it's going to be having that stupid watermark on the side. Until I can get around to balancing, of course, like how I'm paying these apps in contrast to how I'm paying the other streamers that the other streamers and podcasters that I'm watching. Because if I'm watching, and I mentioned this a little bit on the last podcast, it's just balancing the scales a little bit on how I'm watching other streamers and then supporting them and showing my support and paying them money to be like, yo, I like your thing. And it's cool too when people keep gift subbing me stuff. I have currently 2 active gift subscriptions for a month long. It's like a tier 1 on Twitch, and that's legit. Then I can get my emotes. I mean, that's the main thing that I'm looking into having fun at with that. I got the emotes, and that's big. That's what are emotes? You know, that's a form of expression. It's like when I don't have that, I'm limited on my form of expression. And then just generally speaking, supporting the artists and the streamers I'm watching is in and of itself a huge form of expression. And aren't we all trying to express something right now? You know, that's for sure. So although we are kind of underground here in the Vault of Doom podcast, hosted by me, Mickey Gemini, there are not a lot of fucking reasons for me to fucking stop doing this from how long that I have been doing it. So anyway, where I lost track, I got off track a little bit, but where I lost track was the pivot point of the show, and then where that ties in is the name. Where that ties into where I was talking about the Instagram post is that ties into the name of the Instagram post, the name of the art project being expression isn't the word. I was just talking about expression a little bit, but the expression is not the word. But the name of the Instagram post series, it's actually a 3-parter. Hopefully, I just actually took the pictures for the final post, and if it's the amount of pictures allotted into one post, then I will. But it's like 9 is the amount that it lets you, 9 or 10. So if it's more than that, then I'm gonna have to do 2. You know, even if it's only just 1. I mean, that's kind of how you have to do it. You know, you can try to. You know, that's the thing about creating art. You could try to. At least this form of art, it's really so abstract right now without AI, without me using AI, without me being familiarized with it and having experience with it like most people or whatever. I'm not sure, I'm not going to get into all that, but the name of the art series, the name of the art projects is in and of itself is kind of like, I don't want to say explanation, but a depiction or demonstration rather of the pivot point when the show turned into what it is now. So this is what it is now. It's now has the previous name as basically the parent I don't want to say parent company, but the parent brand. So this previous one is the parent brand of this. And I also mentioned in the last episode that I don't want to do I mean, kind of wanted to do a whole fucking series and a whole podcast on beer, and wanted to do a whole podcast on movies and all that stuff. But this is strictly music, and this is also not only strictly music, it's strictly metal music, and there's a whole arena of play to go and work with on that. So I'm more than happy to focus in, dial in, and just stay focused. I mean, I tell myself that sometimes, you know, and I just like, I couldn't emphasize it enough. That and any support, of course, that everybody shows me, any support at all, as long as it's not some bot. I've been getting a lot of bots on my Twitter. Hell of bots on the Twitter. Twitter is loaded with bots. It's probably because Twitter's badass. It's the best one. It just is. I mean, they're going to be charging for Meta soon, Facebook and all that soon. Meta is going to be charging soon for you to use Facebook and all that other stuff. Twitter, you can start now with Twitter. You can start subscribing right now to Twitter, have an upgraded version of Twitter without ads, or it's either without ads or minimum ads. I can't remember which, but having the whole thing like set up the way that it is right now, it's like we're all geared up to just spring forward with whatever we're working with. And you know, I'm not going to say that I'm more than happy with the momentum that I have, that I'm working with, but I can say that I have like enough satisfaction to do something with it. And all the support you guys show me is more than appreciated. When I finished my Linktree, it was the same time that I finished that first and second post on the Instagram that I had just mentioned. So having you guys check me out on all the links on Linktree, having you guys send me money. I'm not sure if somebody sent me money earlier. I got some notification from my Cash App. I don't know if that was PayPal or if somebody was sending me money. I'm not sure, but it was fucking something, you know, something I have to already do other shit anyways. Anyway, and if you look too on the you know, leaving a lot to be desired on my description and bio, that's just because it's sort of funny in the way that it is, where it just says solo metal artist, and that just is like, would be an absolutely hopeless scenario if you were to check out, if you were not to have checked out the one-man black metal documentary available in Vice News, you know, or just things like that, you know, or other people like that, and then actually checking out the music. And that's kind of what you're also going to get if you're watching the YouTube video. You get to check out some of the music. I'm going to go through a couple local artists, 2 local artists that live near me, and then I'm going to go through just basically the other 2, the main stuff on my spotlight and on my radar. And speaking of 2, if you guys follow me on Twitter, all month long I'm going to be doing, every single day, I'm going to be doing 2 pretty badass themes that are in dedication to Women's History Month, that has 1 woman of mythology, 1 woman of metal. And I'm sharing their profile on metal because they're still alive and well, making great music. And then you should support them and check out their profiles, check out their music, buy their music on Bandcamp. I mean, that's the only way we really can seem to give the actual artist money nowadays, because streaming is not doing much for the artist at all. That's beyond evident by now. And if it's frustrating, do something about it. And if you want to do something about it, you can, by purchasing their music directly on Bandcamp, and the artist directly gets your money. So there's that. There's the streaming on Twitch support and showing your support on there. YouTube is really I would say the most hopeful one, honestly, though, would be YouTube. YouTube would probably be the most hopeful, considering that your donations, and Facebook too, YouTube and Facebook. I know it's kind of loud here. You guys can hear. You're actually in my recording studio right now. This is where the magic happens and everything. And it's hopefully gonna have some sort of other badass documentation. But I'm doing it pretty big as usual. So there's a lot of other shit going on, based on I don't know, this channel. Basically, it's all on this channel now. Actually, I have whittled it down to one channel. So that's good. I can actually talk about it now that it's all whittled down to one channel. I had just recently kind of let go of something on my last channel, and that's, there's some stuff on there. When it's time, I might return to it and put some stuff back on there. But, most likely, if there's anything that's going to be done, it'll have some cool fucking artistic creative edge, blah, 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 whatever, added into it with the themes. With the familiar themes added in, and then I can put it onto this channel. But for now, everything's on this channel, and all the new music that's on this new music project I'm working on will be just on my other channel, and then that's it. That's awesome. So the fact that I'm doing this on my own, and then having the hopeful, the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, of my own personal ones, and then having the ones that I can tell you guys about as well, and that is to just discover some of this stuff. It's like, the question arises, is it discovering me? I'm not going to get into that. That doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me at all. So I'm not going to get into that either. And now, as for the, so I was explaining that the parent brand and the parent name being, and then the pivot point switching into what it is now, kind of having its time with this art piece. And then with that, there's a description. Make sure, if you check it out on my Instagram, make sure you also check out the description. And it's just like, whatever, everything's just so flux right now. Everything is extremely flux at the moment. And it's like, whatever, you like it, and then you share it, and all this other shit. Share it to your story, share it to retweet it, whatever. And checking out my Twitter, you can find some pretty cool shit on there for this month. We're 6 days in now. As of now, we're 6 days in, so we have plenty of shit to work with. I don't think I'll lose anything based on freestyle anytime soon, but that's what I'm working with for the time being. So then, very happy with the way that the last podcast has gone, bringing some concrescence. I actually Googled the word concrescence and tried to look for it, and it's not there. So just convergence would be an actual word. It's like convergence is a real word. I'm just like, it was like listening to too much Terence McKenna and back in the day, and eating too many psychedelic mushrooms and fucking, thinking that the word concrescence is like a real word. It's even in one of my lyrics in this upcoming album and shit like that, and it's just like, well, what am I gonna do with that? It's like, still, it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter too much to where it should stop me. It's like, it shouldn't stop me. It's not going to stop me. So, that's like, that's like a problem in and of itself. But none of this fucking shit matters as much as, getting into. All this shit mattered. This whole talk was good. It was fucking, it was a great episode here on the third one. I have to actually upload another one immediately after, and then also let you guys know what the fuck is going on that goddamn extended episode you can find on YouTube. Make sure you tune in. Mickey Gemini, Vault of Doom, episode 3 is now come to a fucking close. No other announcements other than really next week that I have to do that, have that, you're gonna see that fucking watermark on the edge, so let's enjoy this episode, the next one, and then the next 2. So there you know, there's something you can project that I'm saying to you. You know, it's like the next 3 episodes won't have it, but these ones after that are going to, at least the one after might. I'm not saying all of them will, but at least the one after is going to have that watermark, because I'm not gonna pay these fucking apps anyway. You don't have to fucking pay me either. Anyways, Mickey Gemini, Vault of Doom, I'm out. Rock on, let it roar. Alright, you just heard Motherwood that I've just found on Black Metal Promotion. Pretty fucking stoked and pumped about it. Drop some comments about it. And now you're looking at Michael McDermott, who just did a show tonight in Arlington Heights. And he has the same name as me. Weird, but I'm not going to spend any time at all on that whatsoever. And I'm also not going to explain. So anyway, let's get into the show here. You were watching the exclusive fucking clips here in the extended episode of Vault of Doom hosted by me, Mickey Gemini. And here's my fucking feed. My Google Discovery has all metal, basically. Other than this Heinz thing, other than this anime thing, other than this D&D thing. More metal. Something about the solar eclipse. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would love to jump into that if it had something to do with metal, but it doesn't. So after that, we have an ad. At least it looks like an ad, but it's not. It just is more. Oh, it is an ad. It just is in a different place. I'm used to being. We're gonna jump on Twitch or not Twitch, Twitter after this, and so having the sponsored ad notification being on the lower left is literally the exact opposite. It's just like the dictionary definition of the word opposite from Twitter. So scrolling on down here, more metal, some stories, No Country for Old Men, just watched that, good flick, some more metal, some more metal. Anyway, I while I'm scrolling down here and just seeing how far I can go, seeing how far down that I can go. I just thought it'd be important to mention that on one of my previous episodes I had mentioned something about, because I took some notes and was writing something about, well, that's as far as I can go, so I'm out of time. But all I was saying is that Jonathan Davis has Freaks on a Leash, non-profit organization that you can donate to or whatever and go check out shit for your pets and your dogs and your cats. But I fucking hate dogs. And anyway, let's start from the top here and just see what we got here and see if there's anything interesting. I already see a Korn announcement, self-titled 30th anniversary show in LA. Badass. Ex-Slipknot drummer Jay Weinberg joins Suicidal Tendencies. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, this is just my feed, and I refreshed it, so there's something still fresh and new on here. Ska punk, not relevant. 30th anniversary event for Korn being in LA. That seems to be, it's going to be a reoccurring thing. And it helps that I'm telling you guys about it, considering that when I don't, it just fucking pops up, crops up literally like a mushroom mycelial colonization on my fucking feed, where it just shows up regularly. And it's like, how much can I really even just look at this same shit? But here we are right now talking about it and getting it out of the way, and that thus emphasizes the whole fucking point of the show. So the only downside with doing this extended fucking YouTube video version is that it has a little bit of a lower quality microphone. That's the only problem with that. So I'm gonna jump on this black screen here where you can see me in the blackness. Brewing in the Modern West Coast IPA with Siren. We'll get to the beer later, but probably not. I mean, if you want to check out my beer, stuff, it's I typically comment on beer just on Google Maps, so I just go on Maps for that. I'm on Google Maps. What else we got here? Some chick guitarist doing a cover of Heart Barracuda. We got Nick Nocturnal. If you checked him out on Twitch, you can always check him out. He's very, very popular. Sepultura Isolation full drum cover at age 9. All right, let's check this kid out. The only thing is I can't turn the sound on. So we're just gonna watch a little bit of that, a little quick clip, and you can see my reaction while I'm in the darkness. Aside from when I'm lighting some tobacco product. Anyway, I guess that's over with. Anyway, So, scrolling on down here, Duran Sabbath. Wow, what the fuck is that? Duran Sabbath, Rionoid. It's really, really not fair to just be doing this and just looking at my feed and how shitty it is. I try to customize my fucking ads as much as possible, but it just turns out all shitty anyway. And it's mostly due to not having like a decent phone carrier. If you have a decent phone carrier and an iPhone, you're good. But other than that, with this shit, you're fucked. So, you can still have fun, and there's still some good shit. But the only actual sources of news that I trust on any of this Google Discovery shit is just from shit that I've been listening to my entire life, like just like Korn or Trivium, or I've mentioned Scars and Guitars by Andrew McKay Smith, an Australian journalist that does a podcast and is rigorously interviewing artists, many artists, like heavy as fuck. And he just says, like he's got his interludes and shit where he has something on there and he's saying something. He's got some guy from Cold Chamber saying something about that, joining a band, don't join a band, if you can't. And the guy's pissed about it. He's the ex Cold Chamber. He's an ex-member of Cold Chamber, and he's like pissed about not being able to join a band and shit like that. But let's go back to Michael McDermott. Here you go. There he is. He did a show tonight. Just a quick reminder. 20 hours ago at Arlington Heights. Same place Trivium's from, or at least the front man of Trivium's from. And I just so happen to have found it tonight. There's a little emphasis required on this, considering that it is absolutely miraculous and astonishing in most ways. More ways than none, but whatever. Moving on, I really don't know why I could possibly ever give a fuck. So, exiting out of this and exiting out of that, and like I said, when you started this, you were listening to Motherwood. So we're going to jump on to YouTube here, and we're going to see what else that I need to close out on that. And there is something from there's some suggestive videos here, and I'm interested to hear in the comments from you guys and what you think about suggestive videos and how they hit you, how they strike you and stuff like that. Because I at times will hit a suggestive video. Most of the artists that I find actually are through just what I consider to be reliable sources through journalism's people who are doing journalism and things like that, and then I'll find an artist that way or something like that. And every now and then I'll find an artist, but we all know and love Cannibal Corpse from Metal Blade Records. This Tear band is really hyped up from them. They're showing up on my feed. I've been showing them some love and clicking like and shit like that, and just some it's like some Viking metal, man. It's like orchestral is the reason why I think that I like it the most and have any adherence to it whatsoever, is due to the fact that it has some orchestral elements involved in there. And a couple of the other bands that I wanted to mention earlier were just shit like Darzamat, a Polish orchestral stuff that I found from similar artists of Cradle of Filth, or Opera 9, an Italian orchestral metal band that I found through suggested artists on Amazon Prime Music, through suggested artists from Cradle of Filth. Just starting from that, and Karak Angren, of course, that you will see later in a final actual conclusion to the quadrilogy for the credits. That's what's missing. What's missing is the credits. And so that's what's going to have to be a real pain in the ass, because I'm going to have to be like, oh, it needs to be perfect, but not really. And it's like, at the same time, I don't want to just push it out. And it's like, at the same time, no matter what, it's still credits, and it's a whole fucking separate video. So it's an entire fucking separate video due to credits of, what actually fucking keeps me going and what keeps me moving and what actually inspires me to do anything and get up in the fucking morning. So another one that I'm checking out recently is Lunar Spells. Also a black metal promotion. I talked about that in the last episode. And this is your extended exclusive fucking video version here on YouTube. So we're gonna keep on moving from Google Discovery to YouTube, straight back to Twitter. Here we go. Now this is my post that I just put today for day 6 of Women's History Month. I had shared the profile on Instagram of Tatiana Shmalik, of the front woman of Ginger, and then Kalima, the woman in theology. That was actually a picture. This painting is actually is low quality, but it's the saved version that I got is low quality. The actual quality, if you go to the website that I put on here, I think I got the. No, I actually only gave credit to the painter. So if I can subscribe eventually to Twitter and then get the editing going on, then I can do that. But it's way too much trouble. Anything that I have to ever just as for future reference, take note of this. I'm just not going to redo my tweets without subscription. If I'm subscribed, absolutely, then it's easy for me to edit. But I was actually I was recently actually just going through the whole rigmarole of doing the tweeting that I screwed up, and then it literally took me an entire hour just to fix one tweet. So that's just, that part of, why I would subscribe. It's very, very smart for marketing wise. But let's go on down here to where we are focusing on the metal here, and this is my feed here for what I'm following. I don't quite know who Sadie is. Oh, this is a metal listener. I don't know what she's posting that. Some of the Black Metal Plus Legions is the biggest Twitter following that I got that has a bunch of good shit. But they say post-punk and then thrash and then groove, heavy hard rock and grunge. Not into any of that, but it's everything else. Black metal, melodic, symphonic, pagan, black gaze, doom, gothic, death, and that's it. Everything else can everything else is rubbish. So Sodom, all right, Bathory, we know Bathory. Basically this is just rambling at this point. So like what I'm getting at here is like this is where we're at with stuff here, and just like in terms of like what what this conversation actually provides is the evolution of metal, and I can put that even into the description, and then I'm going to have to be forced to like listen to the entire thing now again before I even just posting it this time, and it's like not something that I want to have to do, so I probably won't even do it. I probably will just hopefully remember, and with some supernatural force just providing me with the information that I'm required to relay to you, just rely on that, and then let that be the reason why why everything goes wrong, but yeah, also why I'm a hell of a lot more free than this version of my name. Like this guy's got my name, his exact fucking name here. It's spelled. There's different ways of spelling the last name, but it's like he's probably not nearly. We don't have any shit to talk to each other. So there's a whole thing there. I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, what the fuck do you think about that? Especially with him doing a show in this exact day, and then especially with other just other essence in what your intuition is telling you right now about the way that my voice sounds, about relaying this information to you. It's just like that's essentially the whole point of this whole social media scheme. So this I found pretty cool. Anyway, moving right on along, just straight up moving on. Dave Grohl, the fucking drummer of Nirvana over here with fucking Gall from, doesn't say, but I'm sure if I look I'll find. but seek I shall find. So, since I'm not doing that, we're gonna check on down here and see what else we got. I mean, just BM plus Legions is one you want to follow on Twitter for sure. And then, Tiamat putting all this Japanese shit, that's cool and shit. But, it's Tiamat's some Sumerian grimoire, that's a Sumerian demon. And, the best thing about Twitter right here, just fucking, tits and whiskey. And she's smoking a spliff. It's probably not even... And fucking ass, dude. And like, hell yeah, dude, just some badass shit. Boom. It's a video that'll probably get banned or something like that. So, cool, good, and Gorgoroth and Darkthrone to fucking end it. So thank you guys for watching. It's been fucking awesome. Mickey Gemini, the Lion's Den Productions presents to you Vault of Doom Episode 3, now officially complete. Make sure you tune in to Episode 4, as it's literally been recorded immediately afterwards, and is also going to be, like something that you want to fucking check out if you like this kind of shit. Like, share, and subscribe, and send me money on Cash App, motherfuckers.